Okay, we had
Can I come up?
we held a previous meeting. Minutes were distributed by email with the help of great help of Representative Umberger, both in that and also in carrying minutes for us today. We heard a discussion or a presentation by the Carroll County Transit Authority. By name, I might apologize on that. That they had two separate programs that they're running. One which is the demand response. You call, we come pick you up with a day's notice. And they have a second service that they've just now initiated, which is a fixed route. Fixed route starting in Ossipee, passing through West Ossipee to Conway, several trips a day with fixed location stops, and then also connecting twice daily to Laconia. Their funding, she relayed, was fairly secured for the on-demand, which they're using now presently to get people back and forth, whether it be to jobs or mostly to appointments. Their shortfall in their budget was the money for the fixed route. Bus has been purchased. They have a budget that it appears that they're meeting for the remainder of the year. Part of that process was that they were looking for a $35,000 appropriation from the county for that. That money is separate, $30,000 from, I believe it was 30 is what they originally had asked for in their budget, which is a separate funding source and which is nothing to do with the money that they had asked for and solicited from the towns. They'd gone around and asked both the county in the past. The county had given, I think, $1,000 at one point in time. Hadn't been expended that year because it hadn't started. And then they had made requests going out to the town saying, would you help us also? What the discussion is not on that bus service, which they've gone out to towns and to the county and solicited money. It's making up some of their cost on the fixed route, which is that Wolfboro to Conway, Ossipee to Laconia route. And they had put in their budget to meet that somewhere between $30,000 and $35,000. Asked if they were looking for an appropriation for this year or for next year because they just started. They would like an appropriation for this year. If memory serves me right, and I stand to be corrected, that they had asked for as much as $15,000 for this year to complete their budget to get them through, and that they'd be coming back at another time at another budget cycle for more or less money. Karen, am I kind of where your recollection of that is? And
I thought we were at 20.
20,000 is what they're asking for?
Wasn't it?
That number,
okay.
It was 20,
okay.
But the number was tossed around. But what we determined at that point is, you know, they had not officially requested money from the commissioners
Correct.
as of our meeting. Now, I don't know in the week or so that's taken place whether they've done that.
They have done that, Rip.
They have done, okay. And I assume the commissioners are going to be looking to us too.
From my viewing of the discussion, which I was happy to see online again, the commissioners accepted their request, and let's say for now it's $20,000, and they said that they were then going to go on to the delegation for their recommendation. Okay. For discussion.
Yep.
I, as chair of that, would not consider a $20,000 appropriation at this point in time for that. What I'm suggesting is an offer of $5,000, and I don't know if we have that $1,000 has ever been paid for them in the past, but I believe it's due them.
But it still ends up, it goes back into the general fund and
Okay.
has been expended some other way.
So
I would there.
Yeah, I would like to make a suggestion. I recommend from the subcommittee, knowing the importance of the fixed route, knowing that there are costs that many here are not happy with, which are involved in the beginning of any service, knowing that all bus services, and we're the only county in the state that does not have a fixed route, we're the only one, and knowing that they are going to need to improve their ridership to make up some percentage of that going forward, I think it's appropriate for the county to offer the stipend of $5,000. I open it up for discussion.
I agree with that. I just think that we ought to approach this very carefully. And I say that because we don't want to end up in 2 years or 3 years at $50,000, because it tends with any sort of public bus service that's exactly what happens. So we need to approach it, I think, very carefully.
Steve?
I don't disagree. We have some senior citizens and people who cannot drive who make use of the service. I think it would be useful to them. The only thing I ever had trouble trying to reconcile is why anyone from Conway would want to go to Wolfboro, or anyone from Wolfboro would want to go to Conway if they're looking to. That never made much sense to me. We also need to recognize that it will never, ever come close to paying for itself. They will never, ever get ridership to the point that it will even begin to put a dent in the cost. So I think you just need to recognize that you're, as Karen said, to be wary of future appropriations, because, let's face it, it's not going to pay for itself, ever. All right, having said all that, I'll support 5,000.
Thank you, Frank.
You look at the other counties, 9 out of the 10, and as you say, they all have a system, a fixed system. That doesn't mean that they're right and we're wrong. I know you didn't say that. I'm just mentioning that. And I agree with Representative Schmidt. What's going to happen, and I think Representative Umberger said the same thing, what's going to happen is we'll get them started, and then every year they're going to have this much of a problem. They're going to need another driver here. Pretty soon we're going to need new vans, and it's going to go from $20,000 a year to $40,000 to $60,000 to $80,000, and once we get them started, that's it. We're stuck. And so, maybe I would rather see them not even start, much less. The $5,000 stipend, I don't think it's going to do any good anyway, and I would rather nip it in the bud.
Okay, thank you. I don't disagree with you on prospects of longevity, and I know part of their plan was that they had to have vehicles in a plan for X number of years, and I agree with the other two representatives that down the road that this very well, we're not burdening anyone going forward. We're not even coming close to what they're asking for, but the appropriations have been made federally at this point, and I think we'd be wise, and it looks like we have a majority, to say that at the least for now, we're willing to make a recommendation, delegation, that $5,000 is all that this subcommittee is looking to expend at this point. And with that, I am those in favor of a $5,000 expenditure, say aye.
Aye.
And aye. And those against?
Nay.
No. So the record will show 3 in favor, 1 against. And I don't disagree with anyone's comments at this point. Thank you.
Do we want to talk about the other regional appropriations things? Because we're supposed to discuss them on Monday.
Thank you. We had listened to the other departments, and all of those had come in at level funding, which I believe is the recommendation that we had done the year previous, which was level funding, knowing all the organizations, knowing that they could use more money. All of those organizations are very conscious of what our restraints are and are willing to do what they're doing at the same. it would be my recommendation that this committee support level funding going forward for this budget. Any discussion?
I have no issue with level funding.
Okay. All those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay.
Hey,
Thank you. Recommendation will go forward the delegation level funding for the regional appropriations that we previously heard, and the other motion before that to recommend $5,000 for Carroll County Transit. Any other business before our subcommittee? Thank you very much.
You run a long meeting.
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah, we got a meeting at 1 o'clock,
We're
right?
done.
Yes, we do.
1,300 hours?
1,300
We
hours.
don't have much time for lunch, do we?
Is that the
Nope.
sheriffs? What do we have?
Dispatch and the rest of the sheriff.
Okay.
Yeah.